All right, my darlings. So as ever, we set the lightest of intentions to stay still, knowing that if you need to fidget and change position, you fidget and change position. We set the intention to stay present, knowing that it's quite likely that some of us will be snoring before the end, and that's okay. We settle into that place of santosha, the happy acceptance that you will have the Nidra experience that you need to have tonight, whatever that might be. So why don't we begin just by being aware of the sounds outside of this space as a beautiful reflection of all the other wonderful things that are happening on this camp. As ever, anything that I say to you is just an invitation. You are absolutely welcome, in fact, encouraged to drift lightly with my invitations, with my suggestions, to have the experience, to have the journey that works for you tonight. But tonight I would like to take you on a little bit of a journey. The first thing I invite you to recognize is how this land holds you safe. To know that you are, in fact, spinning through space at thousands of miles an hour. And that such is the love of the earth for you that you are able to be still. To feel stillness. So as best you are able, as much as you are able, in the way that makes sense to you, can you give up your weight to this land? Can you trust it enough to let your bones rest for a moment here? And in as much as you are able, in the way that makes sense to you, can you allow a certain ease in the breath? So that the breath doesn't need to be deep, it doesn't need to be full, it doesn't need to be anything. It just needs to happen without too much effort, if you can. And to know that that breath is also a gift of this land. And of everything that grows on it. Everything that lives on it. My invitation to you now is to bring your awareness into your mouth. To be aware of sensations within the mouth. The warmth of the mouth and the dampness, the wetness of the tongue and the lips and the teeth. Of whether your lips are together or gently parted. Of the feeling of breath on your upper lip as it moves in and out of your nostrils. And indeed, the breath moving through the nostrils. And following the breath inside the head now. Being aware of sensations deep inside the head. The inner architecture of the ears. the space of the brain, the eyes resting in their sockets, the eyelids gently closed. And invite again each part of the body as you move through it, as you're aware of its sensations, to possibly give up any effort that it's holding on to, that it doesn't need right now. So can your eyes rest? Can you feel the skin of the face and the sweep of the forehead, the cheekbones and the jaw, on the folds and curls of the ears, the hair on the scalp, each and every hair on the scalp, moving down to the nape of the neck, the sensation again of the breath, this time in the throat, coming in and out of the throat, and the rising and falling of the collarbones, the rising and falling of the chest, the warmth of the armpits. Exploring sensations both inside and on the skin of the arms, all the way down past the elbows and the wrists, feeling the palms of the hands and the backs of the hands, being aware of the places where the fingers touch and where they are apart, being aware of the places that your body touches your body, where your hands lie, where your arms rest, and the rising and falling of the belly, and the full length of the spine, the shoulder blades like wings, and the pelvis like a bowl, and the private areas of the body, and into the hip sockets, and down the legs. Can you feel the knees and the thighs, calves and the shins? Can you feel the ankles and the feet, the soles of the feet and the insteps, and each and every toe even? Can you be aware of the weight of the body on the earth? Of the inner sensations of the body and the sensations on the skin? Is there a difference between the feeling of bone and muscle, organs and tendons? Can the body be an infinite, a radiant field of sensation that asks nothing from you right now but your attention? And can you know that you still rest right here, in this space? And you can continue to rest right here. But my next invitation to you, if you'd like to, is to both at the same time rest right here and imagine yourself in another place at another time. And that invitation is to imagine yourself on a green hillside, lying out at the grass, looking up at the sky, watching the fast-moving clouds overhead. And the sun, when it comes out, is bright and hot. You can feel the warmth on your face, the warmth on your skin. And when the clouds pass over, you can feel the chill of the wind. The warmth of the sun and the chill of the wind chase each other across the sky and chase each other in you. From moment to moment, the sky changes. From moment to moment, your internal weather changes too. The heat, the chill, the bright radiant sunshine, the softness of the clouds. The radiance of the sunshine, the soft greyness of the clouds. And yet, you're still right here, still in this space. On one level, you've never moved. And yet, you can be here and imagine yourself in another time, in another place. So my invitation to you is to imagine that you're lying on that hillside and the clouds are gathering. And the mist is coming in. And a fine summer's day has turned just that little bit chilly, a little bit damp, in the way it does. And to imagine that maybe it's time to gather yourself. And to imagine yourself walking, getting up and walking through the field. And I'd like to take you, if you'd like to come with me, to a place that's special to me. It's a place of moorland and gorse, of fast weather, of limestone and marsh. But right now, my invitation is that you imagine yourself entering into a track deeply sunken below the level of the fields either side, so that the hedges rise up and over your head as if you were walking through a green tunnel. Walking up the hillside through a green tunnel. Around you, perhaps you can imagine hearing the sounds of the wildlife and the hedgerow, and in the distance, the faint and distant sound of thunder. And you can continue on and continue up the hillside, and the slope gets steeper and steeper. You can feel the work in your legs now. Feel the strength in your feet. As you follow away, thousands have walked before you. And all at once you emerge from the end of that green lane, that sunken way, out onto the hillside. Once more, high, high above the green valleys below. And above you is a huge sandstone bluff, red rock, jutting out to the landscape. And that's our destination. To walk up over the hillside, up to that sandstone rock. To hear the thunder get closer and closer to watch the clouds mass overhead, and then suddenly the flash in the distance, the crack of thunder overhead, and a sudden shower of rain. And you are there, standing on that bluff, looking out over the land below, high as an eagle, watching the storm play around the hills, drenched to the skin. And each drop that falls is a blessing. Each drop that falls is a gift. And no matter how drenched you could become, you know you'll be dry again soon. And you can listen to the sounds and see the sights of that thunder overhead. And spend a moment here in this ordinary, everyday miracle. The ordinary, everyday beauty of the land. Hear its song. Listen to its stories. But in the end, the storm fades. The clouds thin. The sun returns. And you can make your way back down the hillside, back down through the green lane. And as you walk that land, as you step, one step in front of the other, one step in front of the other, one step in front of the other, you're also slowly becoming aware that you are still in this place. You are still right here on this land, in this time. One foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. Walking your way back home. And whenever you are ready to, and there's no rush, there's no hurry, can you become aware once more of the land underneath you, the ground underneath you? And in the smallest way possible, gently shift your weight from side to side. Tiny, tiny movements. Maybe a little twist, maybe a little shimmy. Remembering the way your body plays with gravity here. And there's no rush, and there's no hurry. Bringing your attention when you're ready to the edges of the body, right the way in the tips of the fingers, to the tips of the toes, maybe even the tip of the nose. And can you make some tiny movements there? As if you were moving the edges of the body in a way that the centre of the body hasn't quite realised it's happening yet. Little tiny movements. And those movements can become a little bigger, a little fuller. They can involve more of the body. And possibly now inviting your breath to deepen a little bit. to take in that good night air. To ever so gently open your eyes and just be aware of where you are. To orient yourself in the space. And then find a really clever tessellated way to have a good full stretch. This practice of yoga nidra is complete. Hari Om Tat.